Lots that's happened over the weekend in Ukraine, with Russia continuing to rain missiles and bombs on key Ukrainian cities, particularly focusing on the capital of Kiev and the second largest city of Kharkiv. Ukraine has claimed that Russia has intensified shellings in cities of north, center and south of the country. On Sunday, the Ukraine Air Defense Forces claimed to have shot down a Russian fighter jet over Kharkiv. In the last 2 days, Ukraine has claimed to have shot down more than 5 Russian planes. With each passing hour, meanwhile, Russian forces are inching towards the capital city of Kyiv. Russian Defense Ministry released a video of its troops marching towards Kyiv in tanks and in armored vehicles, which we've been talking about for the last many days here on India Today, that massive convoy that's heading towards Kyiv. Ukraine's armed forces have also released a video in which military personnel are seen building trenches, roadblocks and armed checkpoints on the roads leading up to the capital. So all of them putting out videos, essentially another form of warfare here on social media. The resistance is also growing now against Russian President Vladimir Putin. Police detained more than 4,300 people on Sunday in protests against Putin's invasion of Ukraine. These protests were in Russia. Thousands of protesters were seen chanting "No to war" and "Shame on you," referring to Putin. Marine Corps, a crucial part of the Ukrainian forces. The gentleman over here is going to show how the women in the Marine Corps wear the bulletproof jackets. A very heavy one. Are you going to demonstrate? Yes. He wants me to wear it and see. An experience for myself. Oh my God, that is heavy. That is really heavy. So this is what the women in the Ukrainian armed forces wear. It's pretty heavy. And then okay, that's what he does. Okay, and then the helmet. Yes, that's standing with Ukraine. Standing with Ukraine. And then okay.
अपना मुंह छुपाया ना उसने.
See, it's interesting. The gentlemen over here, all right, but they're from the Marine Corps, so they're not going to show us their faces. So he's covered it because he was helping me. He's covered his face and he's come here. Okay, I'm not going to hold. Do you want me to hold the gun as well?
Yes.
I've never held. Oh, good Lord. Okay, so this is pretty difficult. Is this how it goes? My God. So this is how the women. Oh, I can't breathe. You need tremendous amount of training to be able to do this. To be able to hold a gun, to be able to wear this life jacket, this vest, this bulletproof vest, and the helmet, which is also pretty heavy, and then go into combat to fight for Ukraine against the Russians. With Kuldeep.
Thank you.
In one of the camps over here. In Kiev, Geeta Mohan for India Today. And what Geeta did there, several civilians who've never held a gun before are forced to do the same now to honor and defend their country. Let's also get you more ground reports. Gaurav Sawant, who's been bravely reporting for us from Kyiv, along with Shweta Singh, spoke with the Kyiv governor on the current situation in the city.
The attack on Kiev is imminent. This is the map of the Kiev region, and with us on this special broadcast is Oleksiy Koleba, the governor of Kiev. My colleague Shweta Singh and I are posing some questions to him about the threat that Kiev faces at this point of time. Governor, the attack is coming in on this map. Can you tell us where all are the Russian forces? Where is the main attack coming from at this point of time?
Our main attack came from Zhytomyr district and Vyshgorod district.
Okay.
Are you worried for the civilians, the people who are living here?
One more. Yes, of course. We worried about everyone who have living here, yeah, and we have register each people, each problem, and we will found all of them, and we will help all of them.
Sir, electricity and gas that apparently is a problem in Mariupol, in some other places. What is the situation in Kiev? Are you fearing that electricity and gas could be a problem for the people still in Kiev?
I will give you inclusive information as you like. 1 hour ago, we have a problem with gas because we have a damage from airplane, Russian rocket, and we made decision, and nearly 100 people will have no gas at all, because that's problem. We have to ask all the world to close the sky from the Russian rockets.
There are reports that a lot of civilians have come back to Ukraine, to Kiev. How many would you say?
More than 100,000 people crossed the border to Kiev. It's all men that will fight for our country.
Governor, the attack, we are told, is happening at Hostomel, in Irpin, in Bucha. How much time, in your appreciation, before this part of Kiev where we are, how safe is this, and how safe is this likely to remain?
It's very simple. Never. Never.
So the threat is real. The threat to Kiev is real. Whether it's the artillery, whether it's the rockets or the air attack, and this is where the governor says they will stay and defend Kiev, and people are coming in for it. For talking to India Today, Governor, many thanks. With Shweta Singh and camera person Pawan Kumar in Kiev, Ukraine, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Now, what we've been seeing in the last many days in Ukraine is that Russia has a very clear strategy. They're targeting energy hubs. They're also targeting now several airports. Russia pounded 8 back-to-back missiles. This was on the Besiege city of Ukraine on Sunday, completely destroying the airport there, the Havrishovka airport. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has once again demanded that there be a no-fly zone imposed over Ukraine. Our next report tells you more about how several air bases, airports have been targeted by Russian forces.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 8 back-to-back Russian cruise missiles hit Ukraine's Vinnytsia airport. This is how Vinnytsia Havrishovka airport looks like now. In pieces, shattered, completely destroyed. At least one person was reported dead as a result of the non-stop rain of Russian missiles. A warehouse caught fire and an administrative building was also partially destroyed. What followed? A strict demand from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He urged the West for the second time to impose a no-fly zone over Ukraine.
Ми повторюємо кожного дня: закрийте небо над Україною, закрийте для всіх російських ракет, для російської бойової авіації, для всіх цих терористів. Зробіть гуманітарну повітряну зону без ракет, без авіабомб. Ми люди, і це ваш гуманітарний обов'язок захищати нас, захищати людей.
NATO has already turned down Zelensky's request once. A no-fly zone will bar all unauthorized aircraft from flying over the war-torn country.
We have seen it for the last 11 days, and you have seen it right now, that the destruction is happening now on the east side of Dnipro River and then on the west. However, without the no-fly zone over Ukraine, it seems like the whole Western world is just watching us being destroyed with no additional steps being taken.
Now, we've been constantly getting you updates of what's playing out in the second largest city of Ukraine. That's the city of Kharkiv. It's been under siege for the last many days now, as Ukrainians have been fighting back, refusing to give control to Russia. Speaking exclusively to India Today, the Kharkiv governor, Ihor Terekhov, said that the situation is very tough. It's disturbing in Kharkiv, as Russia is currently bombing the city, including civilian areas, according to the governor.
And joining us live now is Governor Ihor Terekov. He's the governor of the city of Kharkiv. It's Ukraine's second largest city and has become defined and known as a city that's come under the most aggressive attacks from Russia. This is a city, remember, that is only 40 kilometers from the Russian border. Governor Terekov, thank you for speaking to India today. I'd like to start by asking you what the current situation is, sir, in your city, Kharkiv, right now.
Unfortunately, the situation in Kharkiv it's really tough and disturbing. Russia is currently bombing the whole city. They are bombing the residential areas as well as critical infrastructure of the whole city. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people died. People dying every day. People are trying to get to buy some foods or goods, and at that time, unfortunately, there are still bombing and a lot of people dying. So the situation is really, really tough and disturbing.
Governor Terekov, how much of the city of Kharkiv has been damaged so far? We've been seeing video after video of the attacks on your city. How much of it is damaged right now?
During these 11 days, they're still bombing us every day, during the day and during the night. Thousands of people are trying to find another shelter. Police stations, municipal buildings, as well as residential areas are under bombing, are under attack. Kharkiv is really damaged.
Is the city of Kharkiv, Governor, on the verge of falling into Russian hands, or is Ukraine still in control?
Ukrainian city, it remains under control. The head of the Kharkiv, the mayor and his team are still working every day. So Kharkiv remains the Ukrainian city.
Is the city of Kharkiv under siege at this point of time, sir? Have the Russian forces entered the city, or are they on the outside?
There are no Russian military in the city. They are located outside the city in the perimeter. Russian militaries are trying to sneak into the city in the small groups.
Governor Terekov, how long can Kharkiv hold on with its current levels of protection?
Kharkiv won't give up.
Governor, does the city of Kharkiv have enough food and water? Because when we've been reporting on the ground, there have been a lot of citizen concerns that food and water may be running out if the city gets cut off.
As of now, people have enough water in their homes. They are sitting in warms. The heating systems are working fine. And of course, they have electricity.
My final question to you, Governor, have you asked for help from other parts of Ukraine? Is help coming in?
We have asked the friends of our city, other mayors from Ukrainian biggest cities, to support us in these tough times. They replied and they are providing all the necessary foods and goods. So we are more or less fine with it. People have enough food and water, as well as medicine.
Governor Ihor Terekov of Kharkiv, thank you very much for speaking to India today. Stay safe, and we will continue to report from your city. Thanks for joining us here on India Today.
The Russian aggression continues in Ukraine, both with Putin's missile and also his warmongering in his words. The Russian president spoke to French President Emmanuel Macron a day after Russian missiles attacked Europe's largest power plant at Zaporizhzhia. Putin alleged that Ukrainian radicals were actually responsible for the incident at the power plant, sending a wave of worry all across Europe and the world. Putin also accused Ukraine of preventing civilians from leaving Mariupol. Meanwhile, you had Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky slamming the Russian president for the attack on the Vinnytsia airport, saying that Russia is deliberately destroying civilian infrastructure built by generations of Ukrainians. He also again called on Western leaders to impose a no-fly zone over Ukrainian skies. We're going to continue through the day getting you all the updates in the Ukraine war. Just a reminder for all of you as out there that India Today also remains your election news headquarters. Starting 6 p.m. today, our special coverage of the elections kicks off. India Today Access My India exit poll numbers will be out starting 6 p.m. today with the unbeatable election team of Rahul and Rajdeep. So stay tuned for that.